Good day, my name is Dr. Halabi Samuel, and I welcome you all to another edition of the Rock Tutorials Learning Made Easy, where we treat questions relating to UTME, post-UTME, SSE, NECOS, and the likes. Today, we'll be looking at biology. Question 1. The light-sensitive cells in human eyes is called the dash. The light-sensitive cells in human eyes is called the dash. It is called the retina. The retina is the light-sensitive cells in the human eyes. Now, looking at the choroid. The choroid is the vascular layer of the eyes. That is, it is one that supplies oxygen and nutrients to the eyes. The sclerotic layer, which is the sclera, is the white part of the eyes. And the white part of the eyes that covers the iris and the pupils is known as the cornea. The retina is the light-sensitive cells in the eyes, and it is made up of photoreceptors that makes up of the rods and the cones. Now, the rods function in low light, while the cones function in bright light. Next question. Number 2. The byproduct of photosynthesis is dash. To adequately answer this question, we need to know the reaction of photosynthesis. Now, for the equation of photosynthesis, we have 6 molecules of CO2 plus 6 molecules of water. Now, this will give us C6H12O6 plus 6 molecules of oxygen. So, from this equation, we can see that the byproduct of photosynthesis is glucose and oxygen. So, the answer for question 2 is C6H12O6. Question number 3. The theory of survival of the fittest was propounded by. I would like you to know that the theory of survival of the fittest is also known as the theory of natural selection, and it was propounded by Charles Darwin. So the answer to question 3 is option A. Now, Robert Hooke discovered cell. Jean Lamarck discovered the theory of use and disuse, while Carlos Linnaeus is the father of taxonomy. Next question. Question number 4. The deficiency of vitamin D leads to. The answer to this question is rickets. Okay. Now, for option A, beriberi is the deficiency of vitamin B1. Vitamin B1 is also known as thiamine. For pellagra, pellagra is the deficiency of vitamin B3. While scurvy is the deficiency of vitamin C. Next question. Question number 5. One of these is used for excretion in earthworm. A. Contractile vacuole. B. Flame cell. C. Malpighian tubules. And D. Nephridium. The answer to this question is Nephridium. Malpighian tubule is used for excretion in insects, while flame cell is the organ of excretion in flatworms, and contractile vacuoles is the organ of excretion in Amoeba paramecium. Next question. Which of the following hormonal glands is located on top of the kidney? The answer is the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands is also called the suprarenal gland because it is located on top of the kidney. The gonads refers to the sex organs. The pancreas is an organ that secretes insulin, while the thyroid secretes thyroxine, thyronine. So the answer to this question is adrenal. Question number 7. One of these is present in both plant and animal cell. Now, one of the similarities between plant and animal cell is that they both have a cell membrane. So the answer to this question is the cell membrane. Now, the cell wall is peculiar to plant cells. Chloroplast is also peculiar to plant cells because that is what the plant cells use for photosynthesis. While a large cell vacuole is also peculiar to the plant cell. In comparison to the animal cell has a small cell vacuole. So the answer to this question is the cell membrane. Next question. Question number 8. If an isolated living cell is left in distilled water for 2 hours, it is likely to... So if a living cell is left in water or distilled water, what happens is that the cell has an hypertonic medium or solution compared to the distilled water, which is hypotonic. So what happens is fluid moves from an hypotonic medium to an hypertonic medium. So the cell will become enlarged, will become swollen or turgid. So that makes our answer option D, becomes more turgid. Next question. Question number 9. The type of reproduction that is common to both Hydra and yeast is dash. Now, the reproduction that is common to both Hydra and yeast is budding. Okay? So that is option B. So our answer is budding. All living cells require water because it is dash. The answer to this question is it is a medium for all metabolic reaction. So that is why all living cells, whether plant cells, animal cells, will require water because it is a medium for all metabolic reactions. Question number 11. The gallbladder of a mammal has a duct that is connected to... The answer to this question is option D, the liver. The gallbladder of a mammal has a duct that is connected to the liver. So bile is produced in the liver, but it is stored in the gallbladder. Question number 12. If a nursing mother is not producing enough milk, her hormonal system is probably deficient in dash. So for women, they produce hormones such as estrogen and progesterone. Those are the two major hormones that they produce. While in men, they produce more testosterone. So we can see that testosterone cannot be the answer because it is produced by men. Thyroxine, both men and women produce thyroxine. Insulin is an hormone, and prolactin is peculiar in this case. It is important for producing enough milk. So the answer to this question is prolactin. The most important hormone that induces the ripening of fruits is dash. Now, there are a lot of hormones that can be used to ripen fruit, but the most important of them is ethylene. Okay? So the answer is ethylene. Question number 14. The metabolic production of urea is carried out in dash. Now, for the production of urea is carried out by the liver, while the excretion of urea is carried out by the kidney. So note the difference. Urea is produced by the liver, but excreted by the kidney. So that makes our answer option D. Next question. Question number 15. In mammalian males, the excretory and reproductive system shares dash. In the mammalian males, both the reproductive and the excretory system is connected via a tube that is called the urethra. The urethra is the one that connects the bladder to the exterior. So the answer is the urethra. The urethra connects the kidneys to the bladder, while the testis is responsible for the production of spermatozoa and the like. So the answer to this question is D, the urethra. Next question. Question number 16. What is the level of organization of an onion bulb? The level of organization of an onion bulb is organ. So the answer is option B. The specialized pigment cells that is involved in coloration and color change in animals are dash. The answer to this question is option B, chromatophores. But I want you to take note of melanin. Melanin is the special pigment that is found in humans. It's responsible for the color in humans. But for this question, which is talking about color changes in animals, such as chameleon that can change their colors, they make use of what? Chromatophores. So the answer is option B. Next question. Question number 18. When adult has reached a certain degree of weakness, the process of binary fission is replaced by conjugation in. The correct option or the correct answer for this is paramecium. So the answer is A. Option A, paramecium. Question number 19. In insects, the structure that performs the same function as the kidney in man is the dash. The kidney is the excretory organ in man. So the synonymous excretory organ in insects will be the Malpighian tubules, and that is option C. So option C is the correct answer. For nephridium is the excretory organ in earthworm. Flame cell is the excretory organ in flatworms. And trachea is part of the respiratory organ. Next question. Question number 20. The element that is essential for the coagulation of blood is, the answer to this is calcium. Calcium is responsible, or it is essential for the coagulation of blood. Question number 21. Which of the following animals is most adapted for water conservation? Now, there are certain animals that have peculiar structures that make them adaptable, or that makes them to conserve water. And one of them is insects. And the reason why insect is most adaptable for water conservation is because they have what we call chitin. Chitin is a protein. So the correct answer to this question is insects. Next question. Question number 22. Which of the following structures is common to Euglena, white blood cells, and amoeba? From here we can see that this is a combination of plant cells and animal cells. And one of the similarities that they have is that they both have a cell membrane. So that means that a cell membrane will be common to Euglena, white blood cells, and amoeba. So the correct option is option D, cell membrane. Next question. Question number 23. A group of closely related organisms capable of interbreeding to produce the fertile offspring are known as members of a species. So the correct answer to this is option D, which is species. Question number 24. Red blood cells were found to have burst open after being placed in distilled water for an hour. This phenomenon is known as dash. So what happened here is that the red blood cells contain what we know as hypertonic solution or hypertonic medium, and it is placed in the distilled water, which is the hypotonic medium. So what happens is fluid or water will flow from a region of low concentration, which is the hypertonic medium, to a region of high concentration, which is the hypertonic medium. So the red blood cell would enlarge, would swell up, and will burst. So what that is known as, the phenomenon is called hemolysis. Hemo meaning blood, and lysis meaning the breakdown or the splitting. So the correct answer is option C, hemolysis. Next question. Question number 25. The phylum of invertebrates that has no specific head is the dash. The answer to number question 25 is A, echinodermata. Next question. Question number 26. A plant which grows on another plant without apparent harm to the host plant is called, this kind of plants are called epiphytes. They are also called tree climbers. They are the epiphytes. They do not cause apparent harm to the host plant. Remember that if an organism is causing harm to the host plant, that organism is known as a parasite. But the answer to this question is an epiphyte. A saprophyte feeds or grows on dead, decaying organic matters. Okay? Next question. Question number 27. Which of the following cell organelles is termed the suicide bag? Now, there are certain organelles, or there is a group of organelles in the cell that are termed suicide bags because they are responsible for the destruction or the death of cells. This process is called apoptosis, which means self-destruction of cells. Now, these organelles have a name, and the name is called lysosomes. Lysosomes produce enzymes that break down and destroy cells. So the answer to this question is lysosome, option C. What is the genetic ratio of a cross between a homozygous tall plant and a homozygous dwarf plant? So homozygous tall plants is CT and homozygous dwarf plants small letter t. So we have so when it crosses, so this means that they are heterozygously what? Tall. So the genetic ratio of a cross between a homozygous tall plant and a homozygous dwarf plant is 4 tall and 0 short. So the correct answer is option D. 29. Which of the following is not a function of the liver? Regulation of blood sugar is a function of the liver. Storage of iron is a function of the liver. Formation of bile is a function of the liver, while excretion of urea from the blood is not a function of the liver. The liver produces bile, while the kidney excretes bile. Milk protein is hydrolyzed by dash. Hydrolysis of milk protein is primarily by pepsin, while coagulation of milk is by renin. But because pepsin is not in the option, we can go for renin. But in case you see pepsin in the option, pepsin is the answer. Milk protein is hydrolyzed by pepsin. So here we'll go for renin. A. Question number 31. The part of the mammalian ear responsible for balance is dash. The part of the mammalian ear responsible for balance is the vestibular system, and that is option D. The cochlea is responsible for hearing, while the pinna is the outer area of the ear. The perileaf is a fluid that lines the inner layer of the ear. So the answer to this question is the D, the vestibular system. 32. The blood vessels which carries digested food from small intestine to the liver is dash. A. Renal vein. Anytime you hear the word renal, renal means kidney, and that does not correlate to the question. Hepatic artery, hepatic portal vein, and celiac artery. The answer here is hepatic portal vein. Portal because it connects to the small intestine, and hepatic because anywhere you hear hepatic is liver. So the answer is hepatic portal vein. 33. One advantage of outbreeding is dash. The answer is option B, disease tolerance. And that is one advantage of outbreeding versus inbreeding. Outbreeding simply means the same species but different individuals. while inbreeding means similar individuals that are together. So one advantage of outbreeding is disease tolerance. Question number 34. Glycolysis occurs in what part of the cell? Glycolysis simply means the breakdown of glucose, and it occurs in the cytoplasm, while Krebs cycle occurs in the mitochondria. So the answer to this is the cytoplasm, option B. Number 35. About 30 days after fertilization, the eggs of a cockroach hatch into a miniature offspring that is called the nymph. Now, for the mosquito, it is called the wriggler. For the butterfly, it is called the caterpillar, while for the housefly, it is known as the imago. But for the cockroach, it is referred to as the nymph. Option D is the right answer. Question number 36. All these are nitrogen bases found in DNA except dash. The only one that is found in RNA that is not found in DNA is the uracil, option C. Thymine is found in DNA, adenine is found in DNA, uracil is found in the RNA, that is the ribonucleic acid. Cytosine is found in the DNA. So the answer is option C, uracil. 37. Identical twins inherit their genes from dash. The same egg and sperm, one egg and two sperms, different eggs and sperms, two eggs and a sperm. For them to be identical, it must be a sperm that fertilizes an egg, and then the egg will break or divide into two. So the answer is the same egg and sperm. Identical twins. Option A. Number 38. Which of the following animals possesses homodont dentition? The meaning of homodont dentition means that they have the same similar set of teeth throughout. That is homodont. The meaning of heterodont dentition means they have different set of teeth. That is incisors, canine, molars, molars. Now for homodont dentitions, it is peculiar to reptiles and some amphibians, and even Pisces like fish. So the answer here is lizard, because lizard is a reptile, so it will have an homodont dentition. Number 39. The wave-like motion of the muscles of the esophagus to push each bolus of food downwards is known as dash. The wave-like motion is known as peristalsis. Okay, it is what pushes the food down from the esophagus to the stomach. So the answer to this question is peristalsis, option C. Number 40. In order to conserve water, birds and insects excrete dash. To conserve water, birds and insects excrete uric acid, while mammals excrete urea. So the answer to number 40 is uric acid.